I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY. I'm here to bring you guys the latest review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Y'all see it. I gave your ass grace, okay? We are here to talk about it. This is the first episode of the reunion, and I was actually shocked that it got that bout it, but we are going to talk all about it, including these outfits that they had to wear, child. Everybody was dressed in gold and looking half damn crazy. But come on in, everyone. If you can hear the sound of my voice, let me know, okay? Tell me where you are coming from, your city, your state, your country, your island, your territory. Also, let me know what you put on the picnic table, okay? I saw a couple of people brought the charcoal and the lighter fluid. So let me know where you guys are coming from so that I can shout you out. I see that my moderators are here. Clone in the house. Clone in the house is my real sister. We got the same mama, same daddy. Thank you for coming through, Clone. Nice to have you. I also have Deidre Keys in the house, y'all. Miss Lady D Keys. Y'all may remember her from a previous time, but she is over here helping out as well. Thank you, girl. I also have my member, Saya Mom. What is up, Miss Saya? Thank you for coming in and supporting. If you would like to become a member, you can by clicking the link at the very top of the chat. Okay, that helps support the channel. What's up, Miss Teresa? Also a member. Nice to have you, girl. And I see a few of my regulars, my A1 day ones, like Miss Gloria from St. Louis. I also have Just Not Blue in the house. Welcome. I am Bondi Blue. Welcome, Miss Bondi. Shout out to her. She is another content creator who I love. Y'all heard me talk about Miss Bondi Blue quite a bit. So thank you for coming over and supporting, girl. Love to see you. Okay, come on in. Come on in. This is officially, y'all. This is officially the cookout. Okay. And this is where we come to hang out, have fun, chit chat about this damn show and all the crazy stuff they have going on over there. I love to see you guys here in the chat supporting. Look, speaking of Bondi Blue, y'all, I have on Blondie from, that's my rock and roll t-shirt today, in case you guys were curious who was on my shirt. You said you got the DJ's in the house. Okay, y'all, first up, because we got a lot to talk about, okay? A lot to talk about. What's up, Belicious? Nice to have you, friend. You said that you brought the roasted corn and Destiny looked good as, okay. Listen, Destiny is in her season, child. I've been saying this. There's something going on with Destiny, not just this season, last season as well, 10 and 11. And hell, I'm going to even take it on back to season 9 because, child, she is all gas, no brakes for show. And I think she just had to come to some of her own truths and being able to say them out loud and just not giving a fuck, because she realized there's a whole lot of people who know my story and is willing to hold it over my head. And I'm the only one who's afraid to talk. So bitch, I'm going to say what I have to say. So yes, I agree with you. Good for her for figuring that part out. There's a lot of people who can't say what's on their heart to say, and unfortunately for them, they look quite crazy. You know what I'm saying? We've seen Tisha on stage not being able to get certain things out, even on the show. She's afraid to say certain things, so she gets railroaded, even by her own husband. We're going to talk about that. We are. Maurice and Kimmy, for instance. Let me see what I have up here. I told y'all Destiny had said the other week, and it still holds true today, when she said Kimmy and Maurice are great deflectors and gaslighters. And really good at trying to present alternate realities right in your damn face. They will say one thing and do something else. That happened right here in the reunion, child. Carlos King had asked Trisha, baby, we saw it on the screen. We saw you. I saw you. He should have said the same exact thing to Kimmy Maurice. We saw it on the screen. Do I have to call my producer out? The one who was saying to you, Maurice, you got to say it now. Say it now. Facts. Say it now. What are you afraid of? Like, at the very minimum, you got to acknowledge it because you brought that shit to the show. You said you got the seafood and the baked beans. Thank you, girl. Put everything on the picnic table. Mi casa is su casa. Welcome, cousins. Welcome, cousins, to the chat. But we have plenty to talk about. I know they only got 2 episodes for this reunion, but baby, it was jam-packed, okay? So let's get it crunk. Let's start with these outfits. I'm only going to show y'all the girls. I tried to get the guys' outfits, but it didn't work for me. Some of them are sitting, but I just want y'all to tell me what y'all thought of everybody, starting with Tisha. Let's start with her first, okay? Let me take these banners down so y'all can get a good look. If you like Tisha's look, put fire emojis in the chat. And if you think that she may have missed the mark, put tomatoes in the chat. I want to know how y'all feel about Tisha's dress. I don't know if it was a 2-piece or a 1-piece, but she got like a little, a halter little a top. And then she has a sash, and I don't even know what's going on at the bottom. I don't know. But if you like it, it's this gold number. You like it, put the fire emojis. If not, put the tomato emojis. Let me know what you thought. This was the best I could get of Tisha with a full body. A lot of people said they liked her hair. Y'all know sometimes it doesn't show up as well on camera as it does in person. I'ma just say that. I've seen Tisha look better. I think that this fell short. She's going to get a tomato emoji out of me as well. Okay. Let me join in with the tomato, boo, boo, boo. So far, nobody's given her a fire emoji. Everybody said, baby, Tisha's all tomatoes. Nobody likes the outfit. I don't know. I really feel like that lighting kills their looks. You said she gets a fire for you for the top. So you like the corset, but you don't like the bottom. The sash did look a little bit, I don't know, like somebody made it 2 seconds. Like somebody might have made it 2 seconds before she went on stage. Okay. All right. Tisha, and unfortunately for this reunion, it is a tomato. Okay. A tomato, more tomatoes than fire. Let's do Destiny Payton. Destiny Payton is coming in looking like the Oscars, looking like she is dressed for the Oscars in this beaded number. Long dress, corset at the top. There's something going on at the hip where you can see that it has like some sort of, I don't know what to call it, but there's some sort of form that's inside of it to give her hip a little more shape. And then it's see-through. What are y'all giving for Destiny? Whew. We'll start with Belicious. Belicious said it's a fire emoji for her. In fact, all fire. Y'all saw it. Y'all saw Destiny. Belicious already said that she loved it. There's a few. Okay, one more. Somebody's giving fiery hearts. They said, baby, Destiny was the bomb this episode. Damn. Okay, more people, they really like Destiny. Destiny actually showed she had a little video over there in her stories. And so, she was basically under the right lighting, had the right photographer show her dress. This dress looked very beautiful in her stories. On stage, she looked a little bit washed out. Even her hair looked washed out, but she had this ginger hair going. Very pretty though in her video. Destiny's getting way more fire emojis than she is tomatoes. So Destiny they think this look is hot for Destiny. Okay, let me give y'all what I could of Miss Kimmy. because she did not do a video for her dress. What did y'all think of Kimmy? This was a long dress. It had a very high slit. She's given a lot of boobage. She also had some sort of beaded like tassel that came in the front of the shoulder and in the back of the shoulder, and it was white and gold. The hair, she had it done up with a very long tendril on the side. A long tendril on the side. I'm laughing because them tomatoes came in faster than anything for Kimmy. Kimmy is also, people are saying that it did not show well on this reunion stage. It appears to be a tomato for Kimmy. Kimmy gets a tomato for her dress. And we're going to move on because I have never seen tomatoes run this fast on this damn screen. All right. Let's get to the next person then. Okay, someone said her hair is cute. Hair is cute. Okay. There's one fire emoji, two fire emojis. You said when she's standing that you thought that the top part was really nice. I actually like the design of the gold and the flower. I'm actually not the boo-boo tomato. I actually liked it when she was standing up. I liked the high slit. I did. Again, I think that when people have the proper lighting, it shows up different. But on stage, Kimmy, unfortunately, Kimmy's getting a big fat boo. 328 of y'all are here. Thank you for coming and joining me. Hit the like button, share the video. Become a subscriber if you are not already. And Kimmy is getting the boot for her dress. All right, this is as much as I can get from Miss Miss Trisha Reedus. Miss Trisha Reedus, child. Oh, Lord. What did y'all think of Trisha's dress? Trisha had a short mini skirt style dress. It was simple, sequins, gold. It looked like it had some sort of cutout in the back, so you could see a little bit more skin in the back. Modest. What did you think of the hair? Trisha's hair is always a miss for me. She comes in looking like she is a part of the witness protection program every time. Every time she gives me witness protection. God. The tomatoes aren't rolling up as fast for her as they were for Kimmy, if that's a win. But either way, nobody likes it. Tomato. And then the last person is Nell Fletcher. What are your thoughts on Nell Fletcher's dress? She also had a long floor-length dress, and I've seen Nell dress better. She was doing a lot of gold and bronze on the skin, on her face. All right. She missed the mark as well. All right. So the only person who really won this crowd over was Destiny Payton. Destiny Payton, this child, 2026 is your year, baby. When I tell you everybody loves you, everybody loves them some Destiny for the most part. All right. Thank y'all for participating. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. Okay, let me get my notes, child. Let me get my notes and get my name back up here. All right, y'all. So thank y'all for being here. 350 of y'all. We are talking about this reunion. And let's start with the opening with Carlos King and what was going on behind the scenes. They opened telling us that they are 1 hour before they're supposed to be on stage, right? They do the reunion every year in LA, I believe, right? So they fly them out first class from Huntsville, Alabama, Rocket City. I had someone tell me that Huntsville is not small. It's not that small. Well, it's not that developed. There is a lot of farmland there. And I guess they're trying to fix things in the city. But for the most part, and I'm saying this because I saw it with my own eyes, Huntsville, Alabama, it requires some attention. You know what I'm saying? It's not a hustling and bustling city. The way you would, we were told to think about it. It really does have, there's a lot of things that need to happen. So where it is right now, I don't even want to know where it was. I don't know what it was to live there, to grow up there. But they are flown to LA every year, first class ticket. They get this 1 hour window where they are showing the cast behind the scenes. And we get to see everybody pull up in their black, uber black SUVs, right? Some of them have curlers in their hair, pins, and they're supposed to come in here and get dressed. So that's what we get to see at the beginning. The Scotts, the Fletchers. Nell Fletcher actually tore her meniscus. So she is, in pain, trying to figure it out, but still on set and ready, right? Ken and Trisha show up. Trisha is showing up with that wig on, the witness protection wig. Destiny's there. She's getting her makeup. Everybody has made it to the studio except for Martell Holt. Martell Holt is missing in action, okay? And when Marcus Burns, the showrunner, goes walking to everybody's room to greet them, to make sure everything is okay, he realizes Martell Holt is nowhere to be found. So he gives Martell a call. And he said, bro, where are you? And Martell said, oh man, yeah, I'm out here buying a suit. And he said, what? He said, yeah, I got to get a suit. He said, what's your ETA? How far away are you? And Martell said, I don't even know. I don't even know. That was the hour coming in. Marcus said, okay, man, get here as soon as you can. And he hangs up the phone because he said, this shit is above my pay grade. So he runs in to tell Carlos King. Now they show the time and it says 30 minutes before they're supposed to be on stage. He gives that phone to Carlos King. Carlos King said, Martell, where are you? He said, I'm at the mall, man. He said, you're at the mall? Yeah, I forgot my suit. I don't have my suit. It was supposed to come in from Paris. He said, Martell, we flew your ass into LA on a first class ticket and you don't have a suit? And he said, Martell, stop playing with me. Get your ass here ASAP. And he hangs up. Get your ass here ASAP. And he hangs up the phone. And I said, oh, that was it. Carlos handed him back. And Carlos is operating under the assumption, I'm assuming, that Martell is on his way or in the house, okay? Because he said, I don't even want to know. We're not stopping shit. Carlos comes walking out on stage because he got to get dressed too. In fact, I'm going to tell y'all the funniest part about Carlos and Marcus. When Marcus came walking into Carlos's dressing room, you could tell that Carlos was like, I don't want no bad news. You know what I'm saying? Marcus, this is your job. He actually says, what do you want, Marcus? What do you want? Like, you shouldn't even be in here. And he said, yeah, Martell isn't here. Martell isn't here. So the fact that Carlos stops Marcus before he started, I got to hear, that had me cracking up. Anyway, now they show Carlos on stage, right? Carlos got his head freshly shaved, his beard freshly dyed, whatever. He got this pinstripe suit on, 3-piece suit at that. And he starts calling out the crew. And in my opinion, he's calling them out in order of importance, okay? He calls out Letitia Scott and her husband, Marceau, first. And they come walking out. He makes their little jokes or whatever. They take a seat. Then he calls out Destiny Payton second. They come out. She comes out. And he makes her little joke. Oh, we got Jessica Rabbit. She said, no, baby. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, he's like, oh, I see you got them fake hips. Carlos likes to make the people feel a little uncomfortable. I don't know why, but they should be told that they look beautiful or whatever so that they can have a good show. He's cracking jokes on Destiny, and just Destiny is not in the mood. She was like, don't make me talk about that fucking head of yours, okay? So she comes out, she takes a seat. Then he calls out Scott 2.0, Maurice and Kimmy. They come, they take their seat. And then he calls Martell. Martell is the fourth person to be called out on this stage. And there's no Martell in the building. Carlos is like, Martell, halt. Everybody is sitting there. Destiny has this big smile on her face like, that motherfucker. We knew he wasn't coming. Martell said, if I have to come in behind all of them, because I told y'all they have been pulling Martell back for a second. You know what I'm saying? For a very long time. I would say season 7, season 8. Martell, he calls for Martell. There's no Martell. Carlos looks at the camera like, what the fuck is going on? And now everybody is on that stage just looking silly. The people that are on there anyway, except for Destiny. Destiny finds it funny. But Tisha, the Scotts, 1 and 2 are like, come on, man. And that's funny because we remember when Tisha and Marceau had held up production so much that they didn't even have a segment. Carlos didn't even ask them questions because that's how late they were. And that was the season where Marceau had talked about unaliving himself and there were some other things going on. So a lot of people thought that it might have happened on purpose, me being one of those people. But anyway, come on in, come on in. Thank you guys for being here. But yeah, Martell held up production. He held up production. They are sitting on that stage. They are pissed. Someone finally says to Carlos, you hear an announcement through a speaker saying he's in the building in 5, 4. They do the countdown for Carlos. And Carlos said, get it together. We've been doing, this is a 7th reunion. Get it together. He's pissed, but now he has to turn it on for the camera. Okay? And he ends up calling out Martell again. And Martell comes out on stage. And when Martell came out on that stage, he acted like he owned that motherfucker. And I'm not kidding. He walked out like, hey, starts clapping his hands for himself. Walks up there. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing, everybody? And then comes and takes his seat, does a little high five, makes a joke with Carlos. Now, for those of y'all who follow this show, you know, all outside of social media, and y'all know what's going on. This was the day that Martell was actually supposed to be in court for the custody hearing. So he was supposed to be there. His lawyer was in court, and the lawyer was arguing for, you know, or trying to get the court case, the date changed. And the judge said no. And this is where Martell's custody, because they did share 50-50 physical custody. This is where the custody was limited. And then he ended up getting way less time with the kids, right? But this is what happened this day. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was other things going on where he was, you know, on the phone or talking to his lawyer or whatever and trying to work something out. But he was late, no suit. He literally got dressed at the mall and then brought his ass to the show. Dressed at the mall and came to the show, if that tells you anything. Martell was somewhere in somebody's car trying to talk to his lawyers. That's what I think was going on anyway. But he came on and like I said, he acted like there was no problems. He came in, sat down. He literally, when they had that little, whoever was taking they had a camera while he was in the mall. When I tell you Martell had no worry on his face and no hurry in his pace, he didn't give a damn. I don't know how much time he used up from that set, but he definitely did. Oh my goodness, clone. Anyway. Now, when he comes on stage, I do want to note that Tisha, Kimmy, Maurice, and Marceau actually claps for Martell when he comes on stage. I might have to get rid of this eyelash because it's giving me the blues. But Marceau actually claps for Martell when he comes on stage. But Tisha, Kimmy, Maurice, they all had like a sour face, like, like they wanted Carlos to get after Martell. They wanted something. They wanted some sort of punishment or consequence. We're going to get to it. Anyway, after that, we get the rest of the people on stage. I think it was Trisha and Ken, and then the last to come on was Nell Fletcher. Okay, so that was the last people to come on stage, and then he gets right into it with Kimmy and Maurice. They are the first to start the show. Okay, they lead us. Anyway, Carlos says that Maurice and Kimmy is in another phase of their relationship because they are considered empty nesters. They brought a blended family together on this TV show. Now they are empty nesters and they have to deal with each other in a way that they never have before in marriage. And even though this is true for everybody who's in a relationship, this is especially interesting for Kimmy and Maurice because in season 9, it was all about whether or not Maurice can get Kimmy to lay down and roll over, like he said in all the other seasons, right? They give us flashbacks of Maurice and Kimmy in therapy. And Maurice asked Kimmy, I know that you want more time with me. So how about I take 2 days out of my work week so you and I can just, fuck, basically. How do you feel about that? Because that'll give you more time with me and that will give me what I want. Okay, I can relieve some of this pressure that I have inside. And you see Kimmy say, what? You know what I'm saying? Because really, what? Now, while they're doing the flashbacks, this is also important. They are showing the faces of everyone on stage. You get this little box where you can see Tisha, Marceau laughing their ass off. Even Martell is making a face and Martell is making a face like he's disgusted. Martell, the one who was going every season talking about, you wasn't taking care of me, even though we know that to be, something that he was just holding over Mel's head because he was trying to control her. He was trying to basically say, don't make me say something you don't want me to say. But that guy was sitting in that little box going, what kind of man is Maurice? He's disgusted. I was like, what am I watching? And then you see Nell Fletcher really try to stifle a laugh because she's sitting right in front of Kimmy. And you see Nell look at the screen and her shoulders is jumping like, bitch, y'all are a mess. But yeah, they do all of that. And when Kimmy's in the scene, Kimmy's like, excuse me? Are you really saying you want to give up 2 days out of your work week so that we can get it in instead of you spending true quality time with me, us going on dates, us talking to each other, us having fun, something outside of this house in that damn bed? And he said, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. And then we get the most important scene, or not the most important scene because they didn't play it. That's what I wanted to say. But the scene where Kimmy and Maurice are sitting outside that damn restaurant. And he basically tells Kimmy, you should have told me before you married me that you wasn't able to give me what I wanted sexually 3 times a day, 5 times a week, hell, 7 times a week. And Kimmy said, well, bitch, you the one who, listen, I'm the one who was duped. You didn't tell me that was required of me. Maybe I would have made some decisions not to marry you. This all happens in that scene, right? And then Kimmy also said, baby, let's not pretend like I'm just out here by myself. The truth of the matter is, basically, she said, I'm not attracted to your ass no more. When I was giving it to you like that, you was a different man, okay? You were slimmer, you exercised, your muscles was popping. Okay, you had some calluses on your shit. Now you're in your soft hand era, and I don't know who's touching me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even think about it like that. But baby, a soft hand on my soft skin? What is this? What is this? Okay, and that's how the scene ends. That's the flashback. Maybe you're turning me off. And then you see Carlos. Now, while all this is happening, all of the cast is like, "Ooh, Maurice, dirty work, dirty work." Now, while all that after the flashback scene, you see Carlos King on stage, and Carlos gets up and goes over to shake Maurice's hand. He goes over to shake Maurice's hand, and Maurice kind of holds Carlos' hand like he's rubbing him a little bit, and he said, "Damn, Maurice, your hands are soft." Your shit is soft. I understand what Kimmy's talking about. And then you hear Destiny Payton say, "Ooh, not soft girl era, not your soft girl era." And then you hear Kimmy say, "I ain't never lied." So she's doubling down on the fact that Maurice's hands is way too soft for a man. I'm just telling you what I heard on the show. I was flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted. I said, "Bitch, no, she's not." She did. "Your hands are still too soft for me. I ain't never lied. I don't know what's touching me in the evenings, in the afternoons." Child. Anyway, after that, Carlos said, "Well, listen, what's the problem? Are you don't want to build anymore? Like, why can't you help your wife get to a place where both of y'all could be happy?" And Marie said, "It's not that I don't want to build anymore. I never like to build shit. That's not my thing. I like to create. I like the thinking part, but I don't like to build things. That's never been who I am, right? That's never been who I was." So how did she get tricked? How did she get tricked is the question. After that, Carlos said, "Well, have you figured out, have you curbed your appetite for wanting to get busy 5 times a week?" Marie said, I've never wanted to get busy 5 times a week, right? That's never been my thing." And Kimmy said, "Well, that's not true. That's absolutely his thing." "What's up, Deshonda? Nice to have you, friend." That's absolutely his thing. But, we would do it on occasion. Like, there's been times when I have indulged and did it 3 times a day. There has been times for that. But no, that's not something that we do all the time. And then she said, "In order for me to be in that space, you're going to have to get me there. You can't rough talk me and then expect to get busy with me." She used the words, "You can't rough talk me." Her words, whatever is going on in their day, and then expect for her to just be able to get it in with him, okay? You can't expect that. And she said, "I like to get off too. I don't know who he thinks I am, but if we're about to lay down, I'm about to get one too." Now, I don't think I've ever heard this part of Kimmy. Kimmy could have said this in other scenes, you know what I'm saying, even on the show, but she didn't say it quite like that. This time she's trying to act like she has a backbone or a spine when it comes to Maurice. I don't know. But yeah, she says all of that. Anyway, Carlos says, "Maurice, I want to know from you how it feels to be the most hated husband on the show. Because at this point, you've surpassed both Martell and Marceau. People think that you're an asshole." And he said that point blank. I guess him waiting for Martell to get there has released something in Carlos King, because he's not trying to make shit cute. People say you're an asshole, and Kimmy, people said that because you're much older than Maurice, that you'll take anything from him in order to keep your relationship, because you don't want that man to walk out the door on you. Now, Kimmy and Maurice are looking at each other crazy. And at the end of the day, this is what social media has been saying. It didn't start now either. It's been said for years at this point. Hell, if I'm not mistaken, that's how it opened, with Melody saying, oh, she was dating that man for 7 years to get a ring. Couldn't be me. That's how she said. Now, I don't want to say that her and Martell were any better, even though they had gotten married, because we know some other shit has happened. But that's the conversation that's been pretty steady since this show came on air. All the shit that went down with Maurice and Kiowa and Kimmy. You take that man's abuse because you wanted a young thing, and you got it. That young thing came with a whole plethora of problems, a whole slew of problems that you aren't willing to give up. But now she's on stage talking big shit. Kimmy said, bottom line is this. I want to get mine too. And even though Maurice is out here thinking that that's how it was all the time, it was occasionally. The truth of the matter is his hands are still too damn soft. And I don't let a man who's rough talking me all day lay down with me. We don't have that kind of relationship. Well, what? You still didn't clarify exactly what kind of relationship you do have. That's the problem. Kimmy wants people to think that Maurice respects her, but that's not what we see on television. Not to mention, Kimmy, let me put Destiny Payton back up here. It was you who said in your therapy session that you're tired of that man dogging the fuck out of you and having everybody outside of your relationship think that you tolerate it. That's what you said. And then you kind of implied that he does do that shit. I want you to do better. I shouldn't have to remind you. So with all that being said, I just want to say that right before our eyes, right in front of our face, just like Destiny Payton said, you are gaslighting the audience. You are trying to turn the tables and make it seem like it's something it's not. And Carlos didn't even give y'all all that, to be for real. He should have been asking you these questions. Has anything changed? In fact, I'm going to say this. Carlos should have asked y'all, because the biggest thing that happened in your relationship these last 2 seasons was the fact that that man sat at that damn dinner table and had a producer on the side say, Maurice, now's the time. Say it now, Maurice. If you're going to say it now. And you, Maurice, implied that you wanted a divorce from Kimmy because she wasn't laying down with you whenever you wanted to. That was the real thing. So Carlos let you off the hook. Production let your ass off the hook. If it was said, they didn't put it in the scene for us. And the way y'all flipped that damn story around while you were on stage, because I was like, this didn't happen. None of this happened on the show. He does talk to you crazy. That's number one. Whatever rough talking he does all the time, clearly. And he believed that you should take it because that's who he is. You should know by now and you should accept it and take it. That's what he said on that show. So Destiny was right. She's keeping y'all honest this season. I think Maurice and Kimmy are 11 years apart, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, they were let off the hook and they couldn't even be honest in the little parts that they did have. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to it. After Carlos said, Maurice, you're the most hated, Maurice didn't say anything to that. He didn't respond at all to that. Okay. Kimmy goes on to explain herself and defend that damn relationship with Maurice by saying that Maurice is the best man she's ever met. Maurice is the best man that I've ever met. And then Carlos said, well, you made a conversation or had a conversation with Martell where you said cheating is no longer a deal breaker for you. So do you feel the same way, Kimmy? And now all of a sudden, Kimmy switches it again. Damn it, let me put Destiny back up here. Because on the show, finale episode, when Martell asked Kimmy that question, Kimmy said, I'd like to think that my relationship with Maurice can withstand anything. My marriage can withstand anything. We watched our friends get divorced. We know what happens to children, even though y'all have grown ass children and it shouldn't really matter to them. We've seen what happened to children. So right now, we love each other and we're going to keep fighting every day. We're never leaving. Complete about faced on this reunion stage. Carlos asked the same damn question. Now she says, oh, well, I don't think that I would be able. Cheating is still a deal breaker for me. Cheating is still a deal breaker for me. And then she says, I wouldn't be able to trust Maurice if I found out he was cheating. The whole time Martell is doing this, y'all know he likes to put his hands up like this, like this when he's trying to clock shit that he's going to use later. And she said, Maurice, stop playing with me. I don't like when you look at another woman funny. So you know damn well if I find out that you've been cheating on me, it'll be the end. So this is what Kimmy wants the audience to think, because it's definitely, we don't know who Kimmy and Maurice are in this relationship. We don't know what they got going on. We don't know if this is real or if this is fake, because y'all can't keep consistency in your storylines. It's always up, down, everywhere except the truth. That's where it is still today. Okay? And that's what it is. So while they're sitting there saying that, the only people that was really reacting was Marceau and Tisha. Marceau looked like he was just sitting there like, please don't ask another question or don't say anything that's going to bounce your ball over into me and Tisha's court. That's what Marceau looked like. He looked nervous. Martell doesn't have any worries, so he doesn't give a fuck. And neither do the Fletchers. The Fletchers was like, that's your shit. That doesn't have anything to do with us. Now Maurice, instead of him just saying, you know what, I never cheated, or, you know, this is good to know, Maurice got to carry this dumbass story or this lie even further. So Maurice says, this is interesting, Kimmy. This is something that we need to take back to the therapist, because I'm really shocked that you would make that comment. You went from calling me the best man you ever met to saying that you would leave me if you found out I was cheating. I'm shocked. I'm surprised. I don't even know what to do with Maurice's storyline. It was cornball. It was, this entire production that the two of them had on stage was really cornball. I don't know if it's fake or true, but I'm leaning more toward fake. It felt like a production. It felt like they were giving anything that they thought that the audience might find interesting to carry them into a new season. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. We all believe that you did cheat. And you already said in season 9, Kimmy, you already said in season 9 that you didn't know what that man was doing when he had that car accident. You were asked the same exact question, and your exact words were, I don't know if he's cheated or not. I don't know what he does. It's possible. Now you're sitting on this reunion, 10-11, and saying if he does it, you're going this time. So yes, Destiny is right. That lightsaber y'all use, where y'all think y'all can flash it in people's eyes and everybody will forget everything that happened right before, y'all got to get better with that shit. Okay? Very performative. That's what it gave to me. So this quote, I'm going to keep every time y'all come on the screen. And I know you're filming now, but y'all got to do better. Y'all did so much better when y'all had Kiowa on. Y'all, at least it was, I believed what was going on between you and Kiowa. The shit that y'all have just going on between the two of y'all, horrible, horrible. Okay? Anyway, let's move on from their story, because it was really a bunch of bullshit. They weren't willing to be honest at all. It definitely was performative. That's the best word I can give it. including the end when Carlos was like, well, what if Kimmy cheated on you? How would you feel? And Maurice was like, I love Kimmy. I already said that Kimmy is a good woman. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. It dropped. It dropped when you were at that damn dinner table and the producer said, say it now, Maurice. If you want a divorce, say it now. It already did. The way you guys are making it seem like this is something else, mind-boggling. Moving on, okay? Let's talk about Trish and Ken. Okay? Trisha and Ken. When I tell y'all that Carlos King was making fun at Trish and Ken's expense, especially Trisha, every step of the way, he was starting from the beginning, okay? He said, Trisha and Ken with your on again, off again, on again, off again, off again, on again, on again, off again relationship. He said that shit about 15 about 15 times to let them know, I don't know what y'all gave us this season. And then they ran the footage back in the flashbacks, and they were horrible, okay? First, it starts with Chris Fletcher telling Ken, I don't know what the fuck kind of relationship you're in, but it doesn't take 7 or 8 years for that woman to get divorced. It doesn't take 7 to 8 years for that woman to get divorced. And then Ken sitting there looking like a sack of a damn rocks. I don't know why y'all keep talking about us and everybody gets into another relationship before they marry. Chris said, I don't care. If she wanted your ass, she would have already divorced that man. Okay, Muscles, get your ass out there and find something else to do. Period. Then we get a scene where you hear Trisha telling Destiny Payton that one of the things that she still can't deal with, or that's the biggest shocker of her relationship with Ken, is his aggression. She can't deal with that. Ken is very aggressive. Now, even though we didn't see that shit as much between the two of them on screen, she says it, and Destiny gives big eyeballs like, what y'all be doing over there? Okay? Like, huh? You can tell Destiny does not let people play with her. Baby, I don't want people thinking I know what the two of y'all got going on. Destiny will make a face in a second. Whatever y'all got going on, that shit's between y'all, and this is the first time I've ever heard it. Okay? Every other time you talk about how great this man is, now all of a sudden you talk about he's aggressive. Cool. Leave me out of it. That's the other thing. Then we get a scene where Ken is telling his good friend Will that he's sick and tired of Trisha embarrassing the shit out of him. He said, she continuously embarrasses me. Every single time, I don't know what's coming for me when it comes to this woman. I'm outside and 100 people will come and give me my business before she gives it to me. Cool. Then we see Trisha and Ken say, we see Tisha say that there's a whole bunch of stories about Ken being in other women's DMs. Then they both say they spun the block, right? And then we hear that Trisha's finally divorced. So now we're back on stage, and Carlos King said, baby, we didn't know what direction this damn storyline was going. We had no clue. But congratulations on the divorce. How do you feel? Is everything okay? Did you have a little mourning of that relationship? And Trisha said, hell no. I'm great. I love that relationship is over. No, you're Trisha. Trisha, you look like you had lost your best friend when you came to the damn cabins after that divorce. But it does not matter. Ken tries to clean it up, and he said, listen, Trisha did mourn that relationship. She didn't have a proper separation when we got together. So yes, she did mourn it. He also says that the biggest problem with him and Trisha is that Trisha blamed him for a lot of the shit that went on in her relationship with her ex-husband. He said that was the majority of our problem, the majority of the time. I was getting my ass whooped because she couldn't get out whatever she needed to about her ex-husband. She didn't get it out directly to him. Anyway, Carlos said, cool, let's talk about you spinning the block, child. He said, what can you tell us? You seem to have this, you spun the block this season, to which Trisha vehemently denies it. No, I didn't spin the block. Carlos said, Trisha, we all saw it. It was on the show, like cameras captured it. An editing team put it out there. The entire cast reacted to it. Why would you say it didn't happen? Trisha said, I didn't have sex. It wasn't spinning a block. Carla said, okay, cool, Trisha. Define spinning the block for me. Define spinning the block for me, bitch, because honestly, I have never seen anything like this when it comes to you. So Trisha said, well, we conversated. And he said, okay. And that's what you consider spinning the block, talking to someone? And she said, yes. That's when you hear Tisha chime in. And I don't know, Tisha. I would think that this is where you're not supposed to say anything. Just keep it cute, girl. You could have left this in your pocket until next season. But Tisha said, and don't forget, y'all took a walk together. That's what you told me. I'm going to keep your ass honest. Camera zooms in on her. And now I'm sitting at my house like, oh, this is going to bite Tisha in the ass later. You saying you keeping somebody honest is not what the audience wants to hear. I promise you. I promise you. But you're not the only one, because your husband's also going to say something. You guys were on mute when it came to Kimmy and Maurice, but you're all in Ken and Trisha's business. Even though Marceau says that's not what the Scotts do. Just pointing that out. They were very much in their business. You also went for a walk. And now Trisha gotta own that. Yeah, we went for a walk too. We went for a walk too. Destiny Payton is laughing her ass off because she's like, I ain't never seen anybody lie like this. I've never seen anybody lie like this. Anyway, Carlos says, is this a man you were with before you met Ken? And she says, yes. So also, just a little, even though he didn't ask, were you married? We're definitely not believing that this was someone that you were dealing with in high school. You said that you went from high school to marriage. We don't give two shits about a man you used to date in high school. So were you having an affair, even though you said you weren't? There's so much crap that comes out in these reunions that does not get followed up on. Carlos could have asked a question. I don't know why he didn't, child, but he doesn't. Anyway, Trisha insists that it was just a man she was talking to and walking with, but nothing else. Carlos said, did you kiss? Okay, you're not having sex. Did you kiss? She goes, nope, never kiss. He said, did you send nudes? No, didn't send nudes. Now her boyfriend, Ken, got to jump in it. Ken said, oh, she don't even send nudes to me. Again, Ken, this is why you get embarrassed, because you're holding on to shit about Trisha that you don't know if it's true or false. Again, this is your time to stay quiet. Let her answer them questions by herself. Just because she hasn't sent a nude to you doesn't mean that she hasn't sent it to somebody else. You better cross your fingers and pray, because that's why you said she stays embarrassing you. In my opinion, I'm just saying, maybe now's not the time, especially when you answer the next question a completely different way. Because Carlos said, child, I need to know from you, Ken, if you believe that Trisha didn't have the sex with this man, okay? Do you believe that she slept with this man? And Ken looks at Trisha and says, sorry, babe. But yeah, I do believe she slept with him. Now every dirty dick dude on that stage is clapping their hands. That's right, Ken. And I do mean all of the dirty dick dudes. All of them. They're all clapping their hands and saying, that's right, Ken. Absolutely, she slept with him. And Trisha, she doesn't have anything to say. She can't even say yes. She can't say no. She can't say nothing. She just looks stupid. And Destiny starts laughing, talking about, why are y'all clapping? Okay. But she looks at Trisha and said, don't forget, girl, you were the one who was squirming in your seat like this, like you was having an orgasm, talking about, and it was good too. Don't forget, you did say that. The cameras did catch it. It's like you don't know what being on television means. And they all start laughing at her now because they were like, yeah, Trisha, you did admit to doing that. Trisha basically said that she just wanted to put it on. I was lying. I was giving too much. I wasn't being truthful. I wasn't being truthful when I told y'all that. Anyway, Ken said we passed all that now, so we don't have to worry about no more. I know everybody laughing at her, but we passed all that. Again, Ken, at the very minimum, for people who aren't paying attention, he's still trying to protect her a little bit. We passed all that. Y'all don't have to give her too much more. Okay? Carlos looks at her and said, Trisha, you know people be calling you Trisha be lying. And by people, I mean me. I don't care what anybody says. I don't think you're being truthful. You are lying to me about this shit. Okay? Anyway, Carlos says that he's proud of her, even though he doesn't believe her not spinning a block for real, having some sort of relationship with somebody. He said, I'm proud of you for going to Dr. Francis and meeting with someone about your issues. Because, child, the second you sat in his seat, you wasn't even there for 2 minutes, and you had started crying and gushing and spilling your feelings. And I hope that you're continuing your therapy with Dr. Francis. And if not Dr. Francis, somebody else, because, baby, you need it. Okay? That's what Carlos says to her. And then he asked Ken, do you want to still marry Trisha now that she's free? And Ken said, yeah. He said, Trisha's the best thing that ever happened to him. He loves her and he does want to marry her, okay? And that's how it ended. That's how their little scene ended. Anyway, now all of the men leave the stage, okay? They only have the women on stage. And this is where things get a little ugly, a little rowdy, a little about it. The ladies first start clowning Carlos about holding on to the hair on his head, or the pretend hair. Kimmy said, baby, you was holding on to that for dear life. Y'all remember Carlos used to spray paint his hairline. He used to spray paint his hairline to make it seem like he wasn't losing his hair. But he said, I finally got rid of it. And Kimmy was the main one saying, well, baby, it's about time. Okay. Because we was wondering when you was going to get rid of that, right? Anyway, Carlos ends up asking Tisha about her friendship with Destiny. And this was bad, okay? This was a bad moment for Tisha. Take the poll at the top of the chat. And if you guys are watching the recap or the replay, make sure you answer it in the poll. I wanted to know who you believed, okay? Because Destiny busted Tisha's ass out. I asked you guys a question. Do you believe that Tisha told Destiny that she needed to use her for a storyline to prevent a divorce between her and Marceau? Basically saying that her relationship was so fragile with Marceau that if they showed any part of it, they would get divorced. She came to Destiny. She told her that That's what I want to know from y'all. So take the poll in the chat. Anyway, we get a flashback of Destiny and Tisha's breakdown, starting with the adult game day, where you hear Martell say that, hold on. You hear Tisha say that you hear Tisha say that Destiny had to know what was going to happen, inviting Martell to the game day and also asking Martell those questions. Tisha said in her confessional, Destiny had to know what was going to happen next and basically accused Destiny of having some inside knowledge that Martell was going to talk under her clothes, right? Because Martell says, as plain as day, I didn't fuck Tisha when she fucked my homeboys. Basically implying there was some sort of train ran on Tisha and that he didn't partake in it, which is absolutely nasty and disgusting to come out of his mouth for sure. But he said it, right? On camera. I didn't F Tisha when she was with my homeboys. They also show a scene where Martell pops up on Destiny and Tisha at breakfast. And Tisha said, how would Martell know that me and Destiny were having, how would Martell know that me and Destiny were having breakfast if Destiny didn't tell him? So she felt like Destiny was involved in that shit. And then we get another scene where Destiny is the bone carrier between Nell Fletcher, basically anything that Nell Fletcher was saying, and bringing it back to Tisha. Then the most egregious thing for Tisha was Destiny saying, I defend you more than your husband defends you. So please stop pretending like I haven't been a good friend to you. Now, I've been asking y'all how y'all felt about Destiny and Tisha's friendship, if y'all thought that Destiny dropped the ball with some things, or if you thought Tisha dropped the ball with some things, that she had a right to feel the way she felt about it. And the majority of you were on Destiny's side. There were some things that I was on Destiny's side for, and there were some things that I was on Tisha's side for, because I honestly thought, you know what? I can see why she was mad at Martell. Martell had no right to talk under her clothes like that. Martell shouldn't have brought that shit to. He was in a fight with Marceau. He should have left it with Marceau. But we didn't get to hear that entire fight between Marceau and Martell. We do know that Melody's name came up, and then Melody ends up having a one-on-one with Marceau and Tisha about it, right? Because Martell called and said, by the way, this came up at the adult game day. And that's probably some of the reason why we knew that shit was going to come back to that reunion stage in season 9. But doesn't matter. After we get all the flashbacks, we're back on stage, and Carlos asked Tisha, what was the worst thing that happened in this breakdown between you and Destiny? Like, why did it get so bad? What was it that was just unforgivable for you? And Tisha said, listen, I watched the season back, and Destiny was laughing, joking, poking at all Martell's little digs and jokes about me. She was laughing at all the digs and jokes about me with Nell Fletcher. That happened all season long. She said, at the end of the day, Destiny was not the friend to me that I've been to her. Okay? So Tisha felt like Destiny should have some undying loyalty to her. If you are watching this man make jokes over me, you should have walked away. You should have done something different. I don't like that you did that. Destiny sitting there staring a hole in Tisha, and Carlos King looks over at Destiny and said, how do you feel about that, baby? What's your response? And Destiny had a whole list of shit that she had thought up long before she made it to this reunion stage. Okay? And she said, listen, I think that what Tisha's talking about right now is a bunch of fucking malarkey. Okay, Tisha is giving you a bunch of malarkey. Number one, she said, I had no clue that Martell was going to say the things that he said about Tisha, and I didn't agree with it. I didn't agree with him saying it. I told him I didn't agree with him saying it. I had no idea he was going to say it. And for her to hold my feet to the fire, no, I'm not going to take that responsibility for it. That's number one. She's not lying about that, because when she explained it, it made sense to me a little bit. And I'm going to tell y'all why in a little while. Okay. Anyway, she goes on to say, number two, when Martell was off the fucking handle and he got in Tisha's face, I put my little ass body between him and Tisha. Me, not her husband. She said, when you look back, it was Marceau that was using Tisha's body as a shield. And then when the camera flashes it back, you saw Tisha sitting between Marceau's legs and Marceau had his hands on her shoulders, right? But she said, if you really was protecting Tisha, you would have stood in front of Tisha. You wouldn't have had Tisha sitting in front of you. Because you know who Martell is. More than me. Not lying. Okay? Hey girl, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you. Miss Deborah is one of my members, y'all. She said, number three, I apologize to you. I apologize to you for Martell. I apologize to you for shit that didn't have nothing to do with Martell. I apologize to you for shit I didn't even do. I have been apologizing up, down, left, right, you name it. Every direction there is, I've apologized to Tisha. So that's the other thing. I wanted this relationship. And then she said, and here's the doozy. She said, I'm not sure what the real issue is between Tisha and I. Because the truth of the matter is, when we were at Kimmy's house, that barbecue for Jalen's birthday, Tisha came to me and she confided in me that her relationship with Marceau is so fucked up that she said, girl, I'm going to have to argue and fight with you this season. Because if I don't, I'll be in divorce court with Marceau next season. Period. And the second she says that, Kimmy's mouth hit the floor. Her jaw, I mean, she didn't even give it time. She went, which for me, her reaction for me said she knew that to be true. That's why, I mean, you didn't have to catch every fly in the studio, girl. You could have looked over at Tisha like, you okay? But she dropped her mouth so hard and so quick, and she couldn't even close it. And Tisha ends up saying, she's a damn lie. And when she says that, Nell Fletcher went, now, bitch, we know every time somebody has said something about Marceau, you is the quickest one in the room. But their reactions alone, Kimmy and Nell Fletcher going, Tisha, that makes all the sense in the world, girl. What are you doing right now? I said it absolutely happened. Okay? But anyway, Destiny said you absolutely said it. And she repeats it. Kimmy's house, Jalen's birthday, the barbecue. Tisha starts screaming, liar, 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 like she is a 5-year-old. I'm not even making it up. She's screaming just repetitively, liar, 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 liar. I went, oh my God, girl. You wouldn't react like that if you wouldn't react like that, okay? She's a damn lie. Don't you be lying on me. That's all you do is lie. You lie. Destiny looked at her and said, I put it on my son that you said that to me. I put it on my son that you said that to me, okay? I went, oh my God, what is happening right before our damn eyes? Tay Talks is back in the building. What's up, girl? She is another content creator, you guys. Y'all make sure y'all give her a follow, okay? If you aren't following her already. But yes, she started going off, and Destiny was as cool as a fucking cucumber. Destiny went, I put that on my son. You said it. You said it. And I was just like, oh, guess Destiny is all gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes. And listen, Destiny coming back to the show is the best thing that ever happened, because previously, like I said, Destiny would not talk about any fucking thing. She was just, you would see all this emotion. You didn't know where it was coming from. But she has finally got the emotions under control. You understand? I'm not going to let you get me up out of my skin for some shit you did. You said it. I don't care. You are sitting here projecting and putting your bad relationship off on me. And I'm not going to let you do it. I got enough shit to deal with, okay? I don't know what I'm talking about next season. I could be talking about me going to jail. I could be talking whatever this is. But this is on my back. And I don't owe you that kind of loyalty. You don't get to use me up like that anyway, okay? But Tisha's still speaking like a person with Tourette's, you know what I'm saying? Liar, liar. She just keeps saying that. Destiny said, what have I lied about, Tisha? You just lied. She went, what else have I lied about? If this is the only thing you can come up with, if I'm always lying, if I'm a constant liar, what else did I lie about? Y'all asked for truth. Y'all asked me to give y'all my reality. This is it. Okay? Now Carlos looks over at Destiny and says, Destiny, I mean, Tisha, I know personally that Tisha's been a friend to you because, she had given me a call and she asked me, is there any way to bring you back on the show? And I let her know. Destiny was never fired. She quit. She had to take a time out for her mental health. Whatever the fuck was going on with her, she had to take a time out. And Destiny gets choked the fuck up. Okay? Destiny gets choked up and she said, baby, did Tisha ride for me? Yes. Tisha rode for me hard. I know that. Then she said, she was a good friend to me. I'm not denying that she wasn't a good friend to me. And we've heard Destiny say this before when her and Melody were going through their shit. But Destiny would not say, and to this day, let me just state for the record, we never got a real reason for Destiny and Melody's friendship breakdown. We can assume, but the words were never spoken, never said out loud by anybody on the cast, including Destiny or Melody. Okay? They just kind of rode with whatever you guys want to think. But she says this, has she rode for me? Absolutely. Was she a good friend for me? Absolutely. Which is why it's fucked up that this is a space we are in right now. Okay? She said, making me responsible for the shit she has going on with Martell is a no-go for me, especially when you knew Martell's ass a decade. Get this, because this is important. You knew Martell's ass a decade before I even met you, Tisha. I had no idea who you were. I didn't know anything about you. You had a real relationship with that man that you were cool with. You knew who he was before this show ever started. That motherfucker hasn't changed not one stripe. Not a one. And the fact that you keep trying to make me responsible for his bullshit, I won't wear it. She's right. She's right. I've said this a couple of times before. Martell didn't become who he was on this TV show. This TV show is giving us the tame version of Martell Holt. Martell has been a bastard long before this show and long before anybody wants to put their stake on. This is what Martell does. You're fine with it. You make up with him. Your husband, Tisha, Marceau made up with Martell. And I would think that saying the words, my homeboys fuck Tisha, and I didn't, I would think that that's the type of shit you take to your grave. I'll be pissed at that motherfucker till I die. You don't say that about my wife, the children of my the mother of my kids, my kids, the mother of my kids. I can't even get the words out. Those are not the things you say. Those are the things that we will never talk for the rest of our lives on. Okay, you're dead to me, bitch. But the way everybody forgets and makes everything has to be centered around the show. And that's just not true. It was cool for you the entire time until you got on the show. And now you want me to show you some sort of loyalty that you're not even willing to show yourself, because you always find a way to get back in that back in this corner, just like Marceau did in the finale episode. Me and Martell worked it out. What the fuck you want me to do? I'm not doing that. I'm not having that yo-yo relationship. When I'm done with Martell, it's because I'm done with Martell. And she's not lying. She's not lying. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm keep looking at this shit, and I keep hearing all these crazy ass stories coming out, and I keep going, what? How do y'all keep doing this? What is it about this man that's so irresistible? There's something that we don't see. I don't know if you have to see it in person. I actually saw Martell in person, and I still didn't see it. I'm just saying. I remember I was like, he has a big head. That was probably the only thing that I saw at the time, is how huge his head was. His head was. But there's something about him that makes people think, oh, this time it's going to be different. Including Melody, who just said in her comments, she posted it on her in her stories. She said she was working with her lawyer to help the garnishment, to help relieve the garnishment or some shit. And then she said, that's what hurts the most, because she felt tricked. She said, that's what hurts the most. And I went, he shouldn't even be in a space where he could hurt you like that again, girl. What does he say to you that tricks you? Because for all of us watching, and again, we only saw what happened on the show. We don't even know the history before that. I mean, you've told us some shit that was shocking, but on the show, that man embarrassed your ass to smithereens, to smithereens, and take the audience out of it. Let's talk about your mom, your children, your brother, your best friends, your work relationships, your future work relationships. All of those people had not including, I mean, not even just the baby with Ariane, the other stuff that happened on the show where we are like, oh my God. And even now you still feel like you expect more from him. I don't understand. You can't expect shit from him. But this is how this works. And I don't know what it is about him, but y'all all got it. Y'all all have it. And the only person who has not broken up to make up is Destiny. She said, bitch, he's a friend, but he's a friend over there. Period. The rest of y'all who keep putting your stake in Martell's friendship and then pulling it away only just to come back to him. For what? Pick a side. Pick a side. I've never seen anything like it before. It is fascinating to me. Okay. But he got to have some sort of he got to have some secret sauce. He got to have some secret sauce that nobody should want to know what it is. You know what I'm saying? The old folks used to call it demon dick. You know what I mean? If you good luck to you if you meet it, because people, they hurt themselves because they can't break up from it. That's it. Okay? That's it. Figure it out. Figure it out. You can't have expectations for people you don't care for, you don't like, you don't have feelings for. That's just a fact. Them little water boys that's on the corner in Atlanta, they ask me for money. I give them $5 and tell them to keep the water. I don't want the water. I have no expectations for that water or anything else. If I see you tomorrow, you ain't got to speak to me. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me for no more money though. I don't care what you do with the $5. You said it's for this great benefit, good, but I'm not going to check on it because I have no expectations for it. That's how that works. But if you have expectations for that shit and it doesn't work out and your feelings get hurt, that means there was something you was hoping, something else you was hoping that would happen that didn't happen. Not the way you envisioned it in your head or you prayed for or you daydreamed about. There's something else going on. And every woman knows what that is because we've all had, maybe not everybody had it that deep, but there's always somebody in your life. They had somebody that you used to have a feeling for that could use your ass to pieces until he couldn't anymore. And then you look at that person now and you think, damn, why didn't y'all tell me he had a mole right here? And the back tooth was missing. You know what I'm saying? Because they turned into a frog. You don't like that person anymore. You don't find them attractive. They repulse you. And until you get over to that other side, they will always have control over you. Always. But you can't tell me that ain't what it is. Because I was like, oh shit, we really thought you was on the other side. Well, I didn't. I told y'all when I was on Who News channel a couple of months back, I said, oh shit, she's not over it. I knew then. And that was last year. Yeah. Right after that court case. I said, she ain't over it yet. Well, the same situation applies. I don't know what it is, but you're not over it yet. The men aren't over it. The women aren't over it. And he was only fucking one of y'all, according to what, y'all want us to believe on the show. So I don't know. Anyway, Destiny said, stop making me responsible for his shit. You knew him. You knew who he was. You knew exactly what he was about long before I even met your ass, baby. You was telling me about Martell when we was in that hotel room, right? You was telling me about Martell when I went to your house for the barbecues and the birthdays and whatever. You told me. So the fact that you are sitting here holding my goddamn feet to the fire and you can't hold his, you can't stand in what you put down for yourself, you draw a line and you cross it, you cross your own line, stop. Not gonna let you put that on my head. All facts, 1000%. Destiny said, I've apologized to Tisha 1,000,000 times. And Martell can't be the issue. Martell can't be the issue between you and I, just like Martell wasn't the issue between me and Mel. But she didn't say it quite like that. She said, you're not going to make him the issue again. And I've already been in a situation where somebody pulled their relationship, their friendship from me for a person that they themselves can't even get over. I'll say it out loud here. Accurate. I agree with her. Been agreed with her. Anyway, Carlos is sitting there like, oh, because you can tell Carlos had no idea. He thought that this was going to be the fluffiest fucking reunion he's ever had. It started out fluffy with Kimmy and Maurice, and he just assumed it was going to stay fluffy. But now these ladies have given him something he was not expecting, and he's damn near nervous. He's sitting here with them damn cue cards like this. He looks over at Tisha, and he said, Tisha, baby, do you feel that? Is there a way? Because Tisha, I know you love Destiny. I know that you want to stay friends with her. I remember the phone call, baby, when you begged me to bring her back. And Tisha said, I did beg her. I did beg you. And you told me You told me that she didn't quit. You also said, if she wants to come back, to have her give you a call, because I knew Destiny was out financially, emotionally, okay, mentally, spiritually. I knew what was going on. And without telling Destiny shit, we all know what was going on with Destiny. For those of you who don't follow the YouTube sector, Destiny's ex-husband was taking her ass through there. Okay? Pick her up. She's at the doctor's office. She's at the pediatrician's office right the fuck now. Okay? With my son. I'll pull up on her to grab my son, and I need you to take her out in the cuffs. Okay? All the stuff. Going up to the courthouse, she done violated this damn court document 11 times. And I'm going to need her ass to go to jail for 11 days. Okay? 5,011 days. I also need all my money. Okay? 500,011 days. Find her, get her up out of here, blah, 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 blah. Teacher said, well, I knew those things were going on, and I wanted her to get her job back. I wanted her to be able to make some money, okay? And Carlos said, you called me, Tisha, you said that. And Tisha said, mm-hmm. She said, the problem with Destiny is she says horrible shit, okay? She said, even though I saw her when she was struggling, she says horrible things, hurtful things when people are down, and I don't like that. Now, Carlos, who wasn't holding anybody's feet to the fire, when I say anybody, I mean Scott 2.0, Kimmy and Maurice. Carlos says, well, Tisha, you did call her a hoe in the box. Now, okay? I know you said she says hurtful things to you, but you did call her ass a hoe in the box. And Tisha said, and I don't take it back. It was true. And now Carlos is sick again because he thought that was going to be some icebreaker fucking moment where they would laugh and she'd be like, blah, 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 blah. But Tisha said, nah, bitch, I stand 10 toes down on that. Destiny absolutely is a damn hoe in the box, okay? Or whatever you got, a lying ass hoe. She said lying ass hoe. Okay, she's a lying ass hoe. Now, that's not exactly what Tisha said. Tisha said the hoe in the box. Tisha said that's true, and she said I stand on that shit 10 toes down, every single one. And Carlos is sinking in his seat. And Destiny is over there thanking God that she went to therapy, baby, because she would jump across that table and wring Tisha's fucking neck, or at least try. I know people said that Tisha has hands. I believe it was the late Kiki Jabbar who said Tisha got hands, child. So I know people make fun of her, but baby, we used to fight and she used to get the best of me, okay? And I can fight. Well, yes, that. Destiny was sitting over there like, bitch, if I wasn't in this damn beaded ass, tight ass dress, you have no clue. This corset with the fake hips on it, child, woo, it'll be your ass, Mr. Postman, okay? Anyway, after that, Carlos said, you think Destiny is a hoe? And Tisha said she's a liar. She's a liar. I'm not going to say she's a hoe. I take the hoe part back. But she's a liar, okay? Anyway, Carlos didn't know if he was coming or going. Tisha said, I cannot trust Destiny. I still feel very strongly about that. I can't trust her. Not now anyway, okay? Now Carlos said, let me get up off of Destiny and Tisha, because these hoes, they ain't going to give me nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to mend shit, and these heifers is determined to not let this show move forward. So Kimmy, if you could please throw a fucking bone, because listen, Kimmy, if you're nothing else, you're a peacemaker, right? This is what's going on in Carlos King's head. I can read it. Y'all ain't even got to listen to the Monday night shit. I'm telling you, he thought Kimmy was going to throw a bone and help him mend Tisha and Destiny. But little did he know Kimmy was not doing any of that, okay? Carlos said, Kimmy, you had your issues with Tisha. Remember, season after season, you and Tisha fell out in season 1, okay, from the season 1 reunion, and you two hoes didn't get back together again until season 5. Remember, you called me and said, kill this storyline? Okay, I'm telling you what Carlos thought. Thank God I remember some shit. Remember when you called me and said, kill this storyline? Because if you don't, I'm going to lose my marriage. I'm going to lose my family. Remember you said that shit to me? Now, he didn't give that part. I'm giving it to you, but I knew where Carlos was coming from. And Kimmy said, yeah, I remember. And he said, do you have any words of advice here? Because now's the time. You know what I'm saying? Get this crew back together. And Kimmy said, the difference between me and that bitch over there with the fake hips is that Destiny doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut. She says low shit. And if you remember, when me and Tisha was in our situation, it was Tisha who was going with low with me. I stayed quiet. I didn't give her half of the shit she gave to me. And I went, not Kimmy retelling this story, okay? Presenting an alternative reality. Bitch, you sat on that goddamn reunion stage and you told Tisha if she wasn't your sister-in-law, she wouldn't be shit. You wouldn't talk to her. That's what you said to her. We remember. But it somehow floated out of her damn memory banks. I'm telling you, Kimmy was the damn gasoline, the fire, the logs. She brought it all. And while she was doing it, Destiny Payton gave this look to Kimmy right here, like this. Is this bitch real? Is she serious? And now Carlos is even more nervous. Oh, okay. Because he wasn't expecting her to say that. Okay, Kimmy. Wow. Could you explain to me what's different about what's happening here with Destiny and what happened with you? I don't know why he pivoted that way, but he did. And Kimmy said, Destiny is different because what Destiny says is hurtful. You said something that was hurtful, Kimmy. You didn't see that girl cry on stage? Not only did she cry on stage, her whole family said, bitch, you are no longer a Scott. Wasn't that hurtful? Anyway, after that, Destiny said, what did I say that was so hurtful, Kimmy? And Kimmy said, well, Destiny, you hit below the belt. Destiny said, so what did I say that hit below the belt? And now Kimmy and Destiny are antagonizing the hell out of each other. Both of them. Destiny's like, say it. And Kimmy keeps saying, if you would let me, Destiny, Destiny, right here, this is what I'm telling you. She's doing all that, right? And then Kimmy screams out, well, if you would shut your yap. And now Carlos, again, it's like, he's looking around for like, where is the security? These hoes is about to blow, right? Now, the only people that knows the assignment is Nell Fletcher and Trisha. Those two was like, bitch, this has nothing to do with me, and I won't speak until I'm called on. Because you know what I'm saying? Y'all got some serious situation, some serious business going on here. But after she says, shut your yap, Destiny said, don't disrespect me like that. And she was right. That was disrespectful. It was disrespectful. So now Carlos is like, oh my God. Nell Fletcher, please throw me a motherfucking bone. Throw me a bone, child. Do you think Destiny Payton is disrespectful? Do you think she's disrespectful that she says things that's too low, that hits below the belt? And Nell Fletcher said, well, Destiny can be a little disrespectful. And Destiny looks at Nell Fletcher because they're sitting right beside each other. Destiny looks down at Nell Fletcher. She said, when was I disrespectful? And Nell Fletcher, who is a mama to chaos, clearly, and she could feel Destiny's energy, she calmed Destiny down so quick. She said, Destiny, let me finish. She was easy with her. She said, Destiny, let me finish. And Destiny said, okay, my bad. Let me let you talk. And I said, Destiny, within seconds, literally went from, bitch, all of y'all are going to be ganging up on me, to she was able to hear that woman say that. And she adjusted herself and literally was like, oh, okay. Let me let you talk. Let me let you talk. And Nell Fletcher finished. She said, can Destiny be disrespectful, a little shady? She can be a little shady, but we all can be a little shady on this stage. Okay? Now, when she says that, Carlos said, cool. And Destiny nods because she has someone in her corner, right? Then Carlos said, fine. Bring this back home now. We ain't gonna pretend like everybody ain't shady, goddamn. Okay? And then Carlos asked Miss Nell Fletcher, are you one of the reasons that Destiny and Tisha fell out? And Nell Fletcher takes accountability. Nell Fletcher said, maybe. Okay, I might be one of the reasons, because the truth is Destiny is my friend and she's also Letitia Scott's friend. And Destiny was trying to get the two of us to talk to each other, to be cool again, because this happened. That's when Destiny chimes back in. When she's telling her story, this happened before Destiny. And Destiny said, that's right. Because I wasn't even on the fucking show yet. I hadn't signed my goddamn contract. This is insider information. I know what happened. Destiny still hadn't signed her contract. She was still pontificating, okay, whether or not she should be on the show. And so it took her a minute. She said, I wasn't even there yet. You guys went to a birthday party for Trisha Reedus. It was a double party between her and Ken, okay? And y'all fell out with Nell Fletcher then because Nell was asking y'all for transparency. Okay? And Nell Fletcher said, that's right. And now Kimmy's pissed. I didn't think that we fell out. I didn't think that was a fallout. And Nell said, it was a fallout. The problem is y'all don't want to call a fucking thing a thing. Okay? She said something similar to that. It was a fallout, and the problem is y'all won't even call it that. That's why we keep revisiting this bullshit. Because if you could call it what it was when it happened, and when we all trying to talk to you about it, you'll be cool with it later. But now Kimmy is bucking up. Kimmy said, let's put it on the floor then. Put it on the floor now, since you act like I'm not telling the truth. And Nell Fletcher had already said, baby, when they were in the dressing room getting ready, Nell Fletcher said, where's my pain medicine? Because she had torn her meniscus. She said, where's my pain medicine? Okay, hold on. I need to take this medicine in case I have to use my foot later. And her husband said, not the foot in the ass. And she said, fuck yeah. Because I don't know who they think they is. Well, that foot was healed when Kimmy said, put it on the floor. Nell Fletcher said, bitch, you ain't my mama. You ain't my mama. And now Kimmy thinks she getting her big one off. And she said, everybody knows that. Like Nell Fletcher's older than her or some shit. I don't know. But she had the nerve, the audacity. And Nell Fletcher said, bitch, I gave your ass grace once before. I'm not doing it again. And she had pistol fingers wagging them. And she is directly across from Kimmy. And Kimmy said, bitch, you didn't give me shit. You didn't give my ass shit. You ain't got enough grace for yourself to give to me. Okay? Kimmy said, I don't know who the fuck you think you talking to. And now everybody on the stage is like, Lord have mercy. Why? Where did this come from? Anyway, after that, Nell Fletcher and Kimmy start calling each other out their name. Kimmy said, bitch, you ain't gonna do shit. Nell Fletcher called her a bitch back. Watch me, bitch. Okay? Bitch this, bitch that. Carlos King was like, ladies, please. Oh my God, I thought that we was gonna have a good show without the men. We had no idea, and this was the first episode of the reunion. Okay? I don't know what's gonna happen when they bring the men on to have their little one-on-one, but as of right now, this was something awful. And just so y'all know, the birthday party was Trisha's, and I think it was a double party. I don't know, with Trisha and Ken. But even Trisha said that there was a problem between Nell Fletcher and the Scott sisters. So holy camole. Okay? But that's how it ended. 10 out of 10 recommend. 10 out of 10 recommend. 10 out of 10 recommend. Okay? Listen, sometimes you need people to help bring the realness up out you. And Nell Fletcher is the right one. Nell Fletcher is the right one when it comes to Kimmy. And it is what it is. And I'm going to tell you something else that makes sense to me. Kimmy doesn't like Nell Fletcher. And I think part of Destiny and even Tisha, Kimmy and Tisha don't really fuck with Destiny for real like that, because she is good friends with Nell Fletcher. That's what I think. I think that they can't shake Nell the way they want to. And I think that also the Fletchers get a lot of good feedback from the viewers. The viewers like Nell Fletcher. They like her whole family. You know what I'm saying? Them stories that be coming out of that family is A1. In my opinion. You know what I'm saying? They're doing what Tiffany could not. Did they have anybody else up on there? Whatever these other folks are, they do it better. They do it better. And that's what it is, okay? But Destiny, I'm gonna say Destiny and Nell Fletcher are my scene snatchers for this episode. I think y'all did a phenomenal job. Y'all shocked the shit out of me. Okay. Hey Journey, love you too, sisters. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys the results of the poll. And remember, if you are watching the replay, go ahead and put your vote in the chat. But I asked y'all if you believe that Tisha told Destiny she had to use her for a storyline to prevent her and Marceau from fighting and possibly being in divorce court, because that damn relationship is fragile, right? And 84% of you believed it to be true. 16% of you said that you did not believe it, that you are on Tisha's side, okay? And I think that their relationship is fragile. Tisha and Marceau talked about it in 2024, December 2024. I remember them going live and saying that they were in therapy, that they discussed divorce. It was on the table. So yeah, I think that was true. I do. And I think Kimmy's reaction told that. I also think that Kimmy, you gotta take a break from all of the bullshit that the Scotts stick in your head, because there was a time where you would pick the right side. You would say, let's not do it this way. The way you lie and forget, I don't know. At first I was trying to give you credit. I kept saying, she went through cancer treatment. Maybe she, she's just a little lost in the sauce. But child, you all the way out there, girl. You be forgetting everything you say. Okay. Anyway, I want to thank Miss Glaze for blessing the channel. Thank you, baby. Thank you for gifting the channel. I appreciate you. Thank you. Woo. Anyway, y'all know I love this show to pieces. I do. I do. We have watched a lot go down on this show, but right now the questions that I am asking is, what is the mojo? What is Martell's mojo? Okay. I want to thank all of you guys for coming over and hanging out with me. There was over 1,000 and some change up in here, helping keeping this channel crunk. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for all of the nice compliments and things that y'all say in the chat, because you know, sometimes I mean, like, am I giving too much? Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes it feels like you're doing way too much. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I do want to show you guys some skincare. Y'all know I do this before we end every episode. And right now it's sunscreen, because we are in the summer months, child. I use Black Girl Sunscreen 50 SPF, but you can get whatever works for you. It is water resistant for up to 80 hours, and it is absolutely amazing. It is created by a Black woman, and it does go on white, but if you rub it in real good, child, you don't have that white cast that shows up on the skin. What else do I want to say? If you see a little shopping icon right there on the front of your cell phone screen, you can tap it and it'll take you where to buy this, and it'll give me credit for my channel. Thank you to all of you who have purchased already. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, if you are watching from your computer, you could tap it. There's a link right under the menu bar, okay? Oh, look, Terry baby. I haven't seen you in a long time. Thank you for coming in and supporting. But you guys are all amazing. I appreciate you guys so much. So much. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of my moderators who came through for me today, including my sister. You guys are amazing as well. Everybody hit the like button if you haven't already. Share this video. Become a subscriber to my channel. I'd love to have you as a part of my family. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me, okay? And until the next one, bye-bye.